Hello, my crafty friends. Today is the 2nd of the month, and that means it's time for another sheetload of cards. I don't actually have a printed version this month, so I will add still shots so you can see it, but all of the information for you to download your sheetload is in the description box below. And there's also a hashtag in my title that will take you to what all of the collaborators have made this month, including Alicia at Call Me Crafty Owl, who is the brainchild behind the Sheetload of Cards. The first of each month, Alicia shares the new sheetload and her finished cards. Then on the 2nd of the month, she has a full process video, tips and tricks, and the rest of the collaboration team all get to share how they interpreted the sketch and cutting guide. There is both a YouTube collaboration team and an Instagram collaboration team. It's always so much fun to hop around and see what all of the collaborators came up with. Everyone puts their own little spin on it, and it's just so inspiring. The sheetloads themselves are inspiring, and this one is no different. This month we're making 8 cards. All of that information will show up on the sheetload, and next month I promise I will have a printed version to hold up. It's just not working for me, and I need to get this video filmed or I will be hooped. So I'm gonna have to go ahead with just adding those still shots, but all of the other collaborators will show their sheetload that they've printed. And this month it is 3 pages rather than 2 because there's special tips on the cutting guide. So as you can see, I started with this pattern paper. This is the Magic of Winter, and this was actually sent to me from Scrap and Stamp Canada because tomorrow on the 3rd we're having an inspiration hop, and so we got to choose what we wanted to work with for the hop. I chose this. I'm having so much fun with it, and I knew I was going to use it for the sheetload of cards as well. I had also chosen the coordinating solids that go with it. So these are from Echo Park. It's called the Magic of Winter. There is a stencil that I stenciled on some envelopes on some of the cards, and I also chose the ephemera pack. So that's what I used to decorate my sheetload, and let me show you my cards. I did make the full 8 cards this month, and honestly, I just had so much fun. This is going to be a favorite sheetload that I will turn to again and again. Now, I did have to rotate mine, only because, well, it could have been user error, which is entirely possible. The design for this panel and the cutting, it's just ingenious. And you're supposed to trim, I think it's 2 5/8 off the bottom edge. I might have trimmed it off the top. I can't quite remember. I was just, I get into the zone when I'm making these sheetloads. It also could have been because my papers were directional. I didn't think they were directional. That's why I chose them. Other than the floral pattern, which I will show you on this card, I mean, if the flowers were upside down and our pine cone was upside down, really, who's going to notice? Because there's so little of it actually showing. I figured snowflakes, they're non-directional, and the snowmen were going in 2 different directions. And it turns out when I was cutting my panels, the snowflakes have hearts, and they look really goofy upside down. So normally, like if you follow the sketch, the smaller piece is at the top and the longer piece is at the bottom. So I just decided to flip those pieces and put the smaller piece at the bottom and the larger piece at the top. And when I do my sheetloads, I do the pattern paper part first. I've chosen my papers, I've done the cutting, I've assembled and attached everything down to the card base, and then I decide how I'm going to embellish them. So for this one, because I had that coordinating ephemera, I just decided to use those pieces and not worry about adding an additional sentiment. So I have 2 here with the snowman. Now this was the only one because this large circle element, I thought, well, let's try and cover up that seam there. And I like the look, but not as much as I like the whole split look. So this was the only one that you can't see the split on. Now there's some sparkle on those cards as well. I used peel off stickers. These ones are actually from Stamp On It. Where's my... So stamponit.net. I love the sparkle and shine they give. So they are stickers, and you can see I've got some marker on mine. You can color these with alcohol markers. So I used some Copics on a different card to color the snowflakes so that they would better match my project. I'm going to move those out of the way because they're pretty glary. So that's what I used on all of the cards for my additional snowflake. So I have 2 with the snowflake pattern on the bottom. I have 2 with the floral on the bottom. And I have to tell you, I was so excited about the ephemera. I did order 2 packages because you get a lot of cards out of a 12 by 12 package of paper, and I just didn't want to run out. So that's why I have 2 of the Hello Winter panels. I had almost used up the whole first package of the ephemera anyhow, and I still have some pattern paper left. So I was glad I had ordered that second package. So there is the Hello Winter with the florals, loving the monochromatic blue look. And really, if I hadn't added a Christmas sentiment inside, where I live, I can send winter cards out for Happy Mail from November right through to the end of February. These 2, again, I had 2 of the cut aparts, 1 left from the first package, and then I opened up my second package. And then the final one have those sweet little snowflakes on the bottom and more of the ephemera. Now, if you follow me, you know I always finish the inside of my cards. I didn't do any pop-up on these. There was a few little scraps, so I just snipped those strips into little fishtail banners and adhered them inside the cards so they all have that little banner. And then they all have the same sentiment as well. And this one is from Waffle Flower. This is a stamp, and you can get coordinating dies as well. I invested in this, gosh, was it last year or the year before? Anyhow, I get a lot of use out of it. There is some staining. That does not affect how they work at all. They're perfectly clean, and I'm not sure why the blue ink stains them pink, but yeah, it did, and I'm okay with that. So there's my 8 cards that I have ready to send out for the holidays. Now, honestly, I have finished my Christmas cards for this year, so anything that I'm making now, I put ahead for next year. And I started doing that one year. I've been doing this for a very long time, like over 25 years. And I haven't purchased a greeting card in all that time, but I do send out cards. I was getting closer to Christmas and I was getting so stressed because I didn't have my cards made. And I really hated having to rush through and finish my cards. So I think there was a Facebook group that I had joined that you could, as a challenge, you could work on Christmas cards all year long. I don't think it was once a week. It was probably once a month you did like 10 cards or whatever. And I did that, and I was ahead of the game. So come November, December, when I'm in the mood to make Christmas cards, I didn't need any Christmas cards because I had done that challenge all year long. So I needed a whack load of cards, and I was done them and ready. So I used, just as I was inspired to create or felt in the Christmas spirit, I would make Christmas cards and put them away for the following year. And I just got in the habit, and it might sound crazy to some, but I'm organized and I'm in the Christmas spirit. I want to be making Christmas cards. So even though I don't need them to send out, I will need them next year, and that takes all the stress out of my holiday creating. If you enjoyed my video today, please hit that like button, subscribe to see more. Make sure to check out that hashtag and see all the other inspiration that the collaboration team came up with. And that's it for me today.